Hey guys, do you want to see a movie with sand, school nurses, and alien invasion?
Cool nurses for me.
Sand
for me!
If you do, Invaders from Mars is for you. From 1986? Brian, did you write that down? Okay.
Yep. Invaders from Mars from 1986, like Christopher just said, is the movie that we will be discussing today. My name is Brian Lee, all the way from Elton, Illinois, all the way from Elk Grove Villages.
Brand.
From Evanston, Illinois is...
Christopher Lee.
The stalkers know where we live now.
All of the E-towns in Illinois.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's weird.
We did it on purpose.
For people who have not seen Invaders from Mars, the IMDb summary is: a boy tries to stop aliens who have taken over his town and are attempting to brainwash its inhabitants.
Yeah, the first... Oh, actually, what's everyone drinking?
Oh.
Go ahead, Brad.
Very old Barton. Bourbon whiskey. 100 proof. Poof.
Oof.
50% alcohol.
Let me explain.
Explaining.
Here, I'm going to do mine like the credits. Hold on.
Oh, God.
I'm drinking Rabbit Hole. Rabbit Hole, Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, 95 proof.
I've never heard of that.
Really shitty strip club.
Oh.
Rabbit hole. Hey, guys.
We're recording kind of early. It's 2:30 in the afternoon. So I'm drinking coffee with a splash of Jim Beam Double Oak. Bran, how do you feel about Invaders from Mars? The movie, not the actual thing.
All I'm going to say is I do not recommend it.
Mm-hmm.
I will get in deeper because I got a lot of problems with this movie, and you're all going to hear about it.
Sassy.
Brian, how do you feel about Invaders from Mars? Do you recommend it?
Yeah, doo-doo. I can also get into it later, but yeah, I was not a fan.
Yes.
Christopher?
I do not recommend it. For the viewers and listeners, this is available on YouTube, at least at the time of recording. And something that I noticed, and I want to ask you guys about this now, the movie seemed to move very slowly, like very, very slowly, to the point where about 20 minutes in YouTube, you can change like the speed settings, and I switched it to 1.25, and that actually seemed to make it normal. So yeah. So I watched it at 1.25 speed, but yeah, I thought it moved too slowly.
It definitely moved very slow.
Yeah.
Especially once both the parents were brainwashed.
Yeah.
Significantly, I'm like, holy fuck, this pacing is killing me right now.
Yes.
The beginning credits took over 3.5 minutes.
Yes.
Just the credits.
Right.
And it wasn't like there was anything like in the background. It was a black screen with the.
Yeah, because it was the title card. It like flies into like screen.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. It's an invasion space. But then it was like director, producer. I was like, oh my God, we're doing this for every name.
Yeah, that was brutal. Yeah.
So I think we can all agree that the child actor is very annoying.
I don't feel like he had a ton of lines. Like he was shown a lot, but he didn't speak a lot. There was a lot of that reaction.
More or less annoying than the kid from Over the Top?
Less. For me, less. Still annoying, but less.
I agree. Yeah.
Okay.
Still annoying, but less annoying than the little fucking dork from Over the Top.
I agree.
Yeah. The kid could have been replaced with anything. A dog. It didn't like in this movie. It didn't matter. Yeah, it didn't.
Scrappy saves America.
Exactly. I've seen Homeward Bound. I know what animals can do.
Oh, Peter.
Yeah, thank you.
Peter.
Shadow!
Oh, Peter. I worried about you so.
This little kid is a much worse actor.
Yeah. None of the actors were great. It wasn't as bad as some of the canons we've watched.
True.
But it wasn't
like Hell Squad?
Right, yeah. It wasn't as bad as Hell Squad, but it wasn't like we were watching Over the Top. Because that act wasn't bad.
Right.
I love how pumped that kid got when he got a penny. Here's a penny, 30 years old. Here you go.
That totally made me think of you, Brand, because you're
Same.
getting all the quarters and stuff.
Yeah, I have some coins. I do. Yes, thank you.
I'm like, oh, Brand can relate to this kid.
Yeah, I love saving some quarters from 1995. Those are my collection.
Yeah.
You just keep one in your pocket.
God.
You know, if
I understand collecting coins. I get it. You know, I have some coins. I've got stuff like that. But my stuff I have is like from ancient Rome, Mesopotamia, stuff that's like 2,000 years old. Not a penny from 1953 when this takes place in 1986.
I am going to get you a Letterman jacket, though, if I ever find one at a Goodwill.
I will wear it constantly.
And always have a penny in it.
Now, naturally. Before we get into it, I have to say, I didn't mind this movie really up until the end. This, to me, I put myself as if I was a 10-year-old boy or kid, a 10-year-old kid watching it. This would be a great sci-fi movie for a 10-year-old kid that's just getting into it and is like, holy crap, this is amazing.
I mean, this is meant for kids, right?
It has to be.
It has to be.
It brought back watching like all those 80s sci-fi type movies that I grew up with. That's what this reminded me of. I'm not that kid anymore, you know.
We haven't said it yet, but it is based off of a 1953 movie of the same name.
Right.
Yeah.
I will say though that I do thoroughly enjoy how the creatures look.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Come on, here we go.
And their back legs have like high heels.
Right.
It's great, yeah.
And their little nubby arms.
I don't know. A little bit of trivia. The creatures were made by Stan Winston. And Stan Winston.
Hello?
Okay, I'm out of here.
So Stan Winston was working on this movie and Aliens at the same time, which is like so different.
Stan Winston did A Gnome Named Norm.
What is
You
that?
ever see that movie?
No.
I've seen that about 50 times because my sister would rent it from the movie Blockbuster or whatever, and she'd put it on and force me to watch this goddamn movie, A Gnome Named Norm.
Forced you to watch.
By the way, Norm spelled with a G.
Norm spelled with a G?
Yeah, a gnome, a gnome.
Oh, no.
Named
Gotcha.
Gnorm. Yes.
Yikes.
Yeah. What was that? So, did you guys ever have Frog Week in school? Teacher would go to a field and collect frogs.
No, can't say that I did.
No.
But, yeah, I mean, I was in elementary during the 80s. You know, high school, junior high in the 90s. Never had Frog Week. Never had banana.
Well, before we get to the school scenes, so like when I want to go back just really quick. So when the spaceship crashes in the backyard and it wakes up the kid and he runs to his parents' room, that's a excellent example of how bad his acting is.
He was basically me in the last episode getting my cord.
Yes. Running like the Hamburglar. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then also, I mean, the kid, he's like walking down to the breakfast table. Clearly, he's headed to his job at Target because he's wearing the red shirt and khaki pants. But then also, he's drinking a Dr. Pepper.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's having Captain Crunch, and he's drinking a Dr. Pepper.
I will say, though, I have had a Dr. Pepper or two for breakfast the previous years. I'm guessing I have because I'm gross and I just eat things whenever.
In conjunction with cereal?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No, that would have been like I had like pizza for breakfast or something.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
And then the other thing with that breakfast scene is how hot was that coffee? Did you see like all the smoke like billowing?
Yeah.
But that was the thing. He's the alien at the time, so it doesn't affect him.
But inside the fucking thing, the carafe or whatever, like it was like all.
Okay,
it was like there's like a mini rave. Like there's a mini rave inside the coffee pot.
What were the pills that he was putting in it?
That's something people used to put. Brandan probably used to do this. It was like it was like a sweetener back in the day.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought he was putting like pills or something in it.
No,
metal.
Yeah.
Because he
Valium before breakfast.
He puts whatever in the coffee, the steaming hot coffee.
Yeah.
He chugs it and then like chews. I thought it was pills, but maybe it's sweetener or something. But he like chews his coffee, which is crazy.
He looked like he thought he was like hot shit because he had this like sci-fi little pill dispenser.
Mm-hmm.
At first, the kid seemed like he was like into it. He was like, "Yeah, my dad's insane. He's putting a bunch of sugar in his coffee. This is great." But then when he like downed an entire cup of steaming, boiling coffee
and then chewed it,
yeah, that's when it was kind of weird. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Who knows?
God, I'm looking at my notes, and this movie is just so slow moving.
Yeah. Go ahead.
We could jump to now. He's in school, and
yes.
he's looking for the teacher, and he sees her write 2 p.m. field trip. Or is this later? No. Yeah, no. This is at that time. He's at 2 p.m. and he sees her walk into the back. This is past the other stuff.
Yeah, this is pretty late in the film, but go ahead.
She's sitting. That's like my next note. She's sitting there, and she turns around, and she's got frog legs sticking out.
Yes.
I was like, okay, I might be down with this movie. I might. Like I said, this was reminding me of the old 80s, 90s sci-fi fantasies I used to watch when I was like 9, 10 years old. So to me, this was almost nostalgic until the end, which ruined it for me.
Yeah.
But this was a nostalgia thing for me.
What sci-fi movies does it remind you of?
Explorers. I wrote them down. Explorers, Flight of the Navigator, Time Bandits. You ever see Explorers with the two like aliens that came down, but they're teenager aliens?
I don't think so.
And they build like the teenager kids on Earth build a spaceship like out of just random junk. It's a super they're not B movies, but they're high class. Like they're great movies. They're cult classics. They're fantastic.
Now, speaking of school nutrition, did either of you notice when he was at the lunchroom? I forget, he was looking around the corner. Did either of you see what was on the menu?
No. I saw the menu, but I didn't see like what the items were.
Milk and French fries. That's it. Milk and French fries. That's it. So thank God Michelle Obama stepped in on those school lunches. Because...
Yeah. I'm so glad that I was done with high school by the time she came in to change things up, because you can go look on your high school website to see what lunches they serve, because every Wednesday we used to get nachos, chili, and cheese.
Ooh,
We used to buy 2 of them. It used to be $3.20. 2 nachos, chili, and cheese, 2 milks, 2 pineapple cups, and 2 orange juices. I'll never forget this because it was so good. And now it's all like, oh, here's a vegetable plate.
Why are you Andy Rooney all of a sudden?
What?
You're Andy Rooney all of a sudden from 60 Minutes.
I really am, because I was so upset that they stopped, like, they used to sell turkey fritters, pork chop sandwiches.
Pork chop
sandwiches.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Pork chop sandwiches. Oh, shit.
I used to get an ice cream Snickers just about every single day at lunch.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there'd be fries, pizza. Like, you can get whatever you want. As long as you have the money, you can buy whatever. They even had the vegetarian line for kids that wanted just the salad. We had that at our school. Just the vegetarian stuff.
How come that teacher who ate the frog, how come she had such a creepy van?
Yes. And David, or whatever the look his name is, he jumps right into it.
Yes.
It's a cargo van, no windows, and at one point he just like jumps into it. I was like, oh, that's how serial killers were able to abduct children so easily in the 80s.
That teacher, she reminded me of a lot of teachers I actually had. The way she acted. Like, a bad seed. It's like this, when the frog got thrown at him and then he threw it back, and then she, like, all that. I've had so many teachers like that.
It's because you were a bad kid.
Bad seed.
You know, you're right. You're right. Bad kid. My 4'2" frame as a sophomore in high school that weighed 105 pounds, that had glasses and Walmart clothes, definitely was the bad seed.
Yeah, didn't you bleach your hair and wear like tracksuits or something like that?
But that didn't start until junior year, senior year, when I got a job at Walgreens.
Bad kid.
And I finally hit puberty.
Why did working at Walgreens make you buy tracksuits?
Well, because I finally got money and I didn't buy tracksuits. I bought Echo clothes.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
And it was an Echo tracksuit that was at Rags at Woodfield. And they had like this big mannequin wearing the actual, I'm like, I want it. And I bought it, and I worked at Harper College to one of my astronomy courses, and that was a bad decision.
So essentially you were every montage shopping scene in Sex and the City. You're like, that one.
Yes. Yeah. So that was the first time I ever had money in my life. It was amazing.
And the first thing you did was buy an Echo tracksuit.
Hell yeah.
Do you guys feel like the relationship between the school nurse and the kid was weird?
Yes, and I had the thought that if the genders were reversed, it'd be even more creepy.
Oh yeah.
So if it was an adult man and a little girl, it'd be super. Because at one point, the nurse is like, "Oh, here are the keys to my house. Go there." I was like, "Oh, that's weird."
But even like when they're like hiding in the boiler room and she's like leaning like on them and like they're like talking like this close to each other, I'm like, "Oh, this is not good."
And in that boiler room, aren't they like on a bed or a cot or something?
It looks something like that.
Yeah.
Yes. So before they get into the boiler room, do you remember the kid's line? He goes, "Come on, I know a place." And in my head, I'm thinking, "Come on, baby, I know a place." Like that, like, "Hey, let's go to this place I know. Let's get a little action." So I'm so glad you both thought the same exact thing. Because I'm like, man, if I'm the only one that thinks that, this is kind of...
I feel like this is a repeat of your dictation theory.
I don't even remember.
From Hell Squad, you're like, remember when he said dictation? And then they go back and it's like dictation.
Yes! No, it was dictation for you. You're correct. I hear these things. It's like, hey, let's read more into that. Because that's how I remember them. Because it's funny. Otherwise, the movie's more bleh.
So after they escape from the boiler room and they get in the car the kid, more terrible acting, 5255. He's like, we've got to stop them. We've got to stop them. And then all of a sudden goes to her and she's cross-eyed. She's like, I know.
The teacher basically relied on that kid to save her.
Right.
Yeah.
The kid was the adult and she was the child, is what it seems.
Yeah, the military, too. They're like, what do we do next, David? It's like,
Yeah,
look at the fucking military.
This kid. God.
Yeah, she was oddly trusting of that little kid and his crazy stories.
Yeah.
I was, so when he first tells the story in the nurse's office, and she's like, wait 1 minute. I was waiting for it to be like, once again, Ghostbusters 2, where it just cuts that scene where they're being taken out in straitjackets.
Would you consider telling the slime business to some of our people downtown?
It's got to be done right away.
The impression it all comes back. What's gonna come back? This city's in danger.
Yeah.
I do like how, so when the military goes into, that underground tunnel, and they finally take down those first two aliens with that bazooka. And apparently when you shoot them with a bazooka, they turn into party streamers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one scientist trying to talk to him.
Oh
I
my God.
enjoyed it. That was just like, okay, well, this guy's going to die. This is going to be funny.
Mm-hmm.
And they're cannons that are powered by copper.
Yes.
Yes.
I Googled copper is an energy source. And I found hydrogen fuel cells. Hydrogen fuel cells use copper as part of an energy source. Maybe not to produce the energy, but they're essential to produce that. And there are cars that came out in 2019 and 2020 that are using hydrogen fuel cells as partial energy to make the car move.
I mean, hydrogen cars have been around for a while, but
Yeah,
how does that tie in with copper?
It's the essential thing that makes it work. It ties into, like, listen, I'm no copper engineer. All I know is that you need copper to make the stuff work. So this movie, Invaders from Mars, predicted the copper would be an energy source in 2020.
So you're saying this is a documentary?
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
So before before the kid is like walking into the cave, he sees it. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
And he's walking. You know how the music is very just like slow music. All of a sudden, you hear like a gong, and it sounded exactly like the Undertaker.
Undertaker. Yes.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Awesome. So great.
When the kid comes face to face with the monster that looks like the thing that's in the back of your throat, does he call him Dick Brain?
Dick Brain!
And the kid kept on saying Captain Curtis,
Mm-hmm.
and it kept throwing me off because I kept thinking Cowboy Curtis. And I kept thinking Pee-wee.
Pee-wee.
Yeah, so it was just he kept saying, "Hey, Captain Curtis, Captain Curtis." What was it else? Oh, there were also a couple gunshots that happened with no outcomes. Like with that one guy that got turned, the one army guy at the end, like, shoot me. He's got the gun pointed.
Yeah.
Right.
He actually fires his gun. But
that happened also when the two researchers from NASA.
that part too, right? One of the NASA guys shoots his gun, but the general is standing there perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So there's no, any type of gunfire, nothing happens. So that makes me also think kids movie.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So it was weird though.
I don't know. Fuck, who's running? It must be the kid. I have terrible running form.
Yes.
Which worse than Steven Seagal. Is it the little kid?
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah, it's like
just finding out. Yeah.
He's like doing like a windmill while running. It's really bad.
Yeah, really bad. And how his parents could not catch up to him while he was doing that?
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yep. And then the movie also, I mean, I don't know if you guys have any more notes, but the movie ends with a very hilarious freeze frame, which I'm a sucker for a good freeze frame.
The freeze frame is funny. I did not like it. Was a dream.
But was it? Was it a dream, Bran?
Or did he have precognition to know what was going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, the end is pretty confusing and not great.
I hate when movies do this, because to me, if it was a dream, what was the point of the movie?
Yes, agreed.
To me, that's why I was into it, because of the nostalgia aspect of remembering of like kid stuff. But then it was just, come on, man.
Yeah. Once it showed him in the bed, I was like, oh, really? Like it's a whole it's a dream thing. Like
yeah. I was really, really disappointed. So, I mean, if anything, like have your kids watch it to get them into kind of like sci-fi if you want to. But man.
So a little bit of trivia. Tobe Hooper, or Tobe Hooper, however you pronounce the name, the director. Obviously, he did the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and then Canon Group gave him a 3-picture deal, and he did Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, this movie, and Life Force, which I've seen all 3, and they're all terrible.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't know what happened, because like obviously the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre is good, but these 3 movies are terrible.
Yeah, it's totally different feel, and that's bizarre.
You think maybe Golden and Globus were kind of like, you have to direct it, you have to like focus on how we want it to be made?
That's what I thought, but actually one of the trivia is that the producers, Golan and Globus, they actually hated this movie and the thought that the director had misled them.
Wow.
So, I don't know what the story is there.
Yeah.
Now that we have talked about Invaders from Mars, Bran, do you recommend it?
Nope.
Yeah. Brian, do you recommend Invaders from Mars?
Neggy.
Oh, God.
Neggy recommend.
Yeah, I don't recommend it at all. It is so slow moving.
Yeah.
It's so slow moving. Yeah, do not recommend. Bran, do you recommend Old Barton?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, especially, at 2:30 in the afternoon on a Saturday. You got plans, who cares? Have some Old Barton.
You're not driving anywhere.
Damn right.
And Brian, do you recommend, what was it, Old Frontier, or did you switch it up?
No, I switched it. I recommend that Rabbit Hole.
Yeah.
And yes, I would also recommend Jim Beam Double Oak Twice Barreled. Yeah. Well, until next time, boom, boom.
Thanks for checking out this week's episode. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and most importantly, tell a friend.